everyone. Today we have created a super video. We haven't done it before. I asked Kurly Marwaha to make practical suggestions how we can use Feng Shui and energy flow into our business life. And we will be focusing on 4 areas. It's attracting clients, as in general, or if you're running online courses or events, focus on discipline. If you are intuitive entrepreneur, this is our weakest point. Let's be honest about that. Then stable income flow for any type of solopreneurs. When you used to be an employee, you knew exact date, how much money is coming in. Now it may be a different story. So how to have the stable income flow. And the last one is visibility on social media. And Kurly will be giving recommendations based on monthly basis and till December. Over to you, Kurly.
Inga, thank you very much for that amazing introduction. We've done work together in the past. I know you're doing wonderful things in the world too. So I'm really, really excited to be coming back and giving some more really helpful things to the people that you work with, your tribe, amazing, amazing people, some of whom I've met personally. So I thought I'd begin with very, very quickly just explaining what Feng Shui is and energy flow in the way that I describe it, okay? Because I think I describe it slightly differently to other people. And what I would say is that, so for me, Feng Shui is about you. Every single one of you that's watching this right now, you, Inga, it's about me, it's about people. And people often think Feng Shui is about the building or the house or the office. It's not. The building, the house, or the office is the tool that we're working with, your environment. But essentially, it's all about you. And Feng Shui is very simply put about the connection between people and the environment, and the fact, the irrefutable fact that, you know, from the moment that you're born to the moment that you pass from this beautiful world of ours, you are in this environment and it's always affecting you. So let's be honest, just for a second while you're watching this, I want you to think about one place that you've walked into where you've walked in and you've looked around, you loved it, and you thought, and how wonderfully you operated. You thought more clearly, you had better conversations, negotiations, you might have even made sales that you weren't expecting, right? And the exact opposite, where you've had the highest expectations, walked into somewhere, and then realized, oh my God, I hate this place. I can't stand it. Let me just do what I need to do and get out. And then the same thing, your energy contracts, and you don't do as well, right? And this principle, by the way, also works when you're working from home online, because let's face it, even online, we're online now, and you're watching this online, so this is perfect to talk about this, you're still in your environment, your home, wherever you're working from, right? There is never a day, a minute, a second when you're not in the environment. In fact, there's all sorts of epigenetics, quantum science, chemists will often speak about this these days as well. People who are scientists in the orthodox way will quite often talk about the fact that 2 people can carry a disease in their body, but it takes the environment to trigger it in one of those people's bodies. And this is how powerful the environment is. So we're not obviously going to talk about diseases today, but we are going to talk about bringing people into the room, right? Whether it's online or in a physical venue, hopefully very soon, a lot of physical venues, right? Because we want that, it's good for us. The income flow line and steadying that out, or taking it to a point where it's a lot more comfortable for you, right? Because this is hard for most entrepreneurs, this, feast famine thing. Oh my God, it can drain your energy. And then this thing about being focused and disciplined in crafting your day, as you beautifully put it for me, Inga, this is about how do you get yourself motivated, stay on track, be inspired to do the things that need to be done to bring about the effects that you want, to help people and also help yourself in your life, your income, right? It's a two-way win. And then finally, this thing that is about marketing, about being visible on social media. Okay, now it's really important for me to also explain two other things, and then we'll go straight into the month by month. And the two things are, let me tell you why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it this time around. I've never done it this way before. It's because, let's be honest, at this moment in time, we've all been to hell and back, right? Whether your business is thriving or it's on a downward incline. The way I explain this is, if I decided to create a bonfire right here, which obviously I wouldn't because it's inside, okay? So it's just a metaphor. If I decided to create a bonfire inside over there, I might be sat over here, but the smoke would come over and it would affect me. So just in the same way, when everybody around you is in turmoil, even if your own energy is in a good place, you're still being affected. And this is what things like the present circumstances out there, the horrible, horrible virus thing that they're talking about, I will not mention the name of, okay? All the conversations, the politics, the financial effects on the state and therefore everybody around you, jobs being lost or certain companies thriving and others going out of business. All of this is still affecting you. And you must always be mindful of that, because look, if you can see something, you can deal with it better, right? For yourself and for others. And your clients, regardless of what service you provide or product, they are relying on you to not pretend, but to call it out and then tell them what to do. Some of the most powerful and most viral podcasts and social media things have been because people have been authentic. That authenticity is about being yourself exactly as you are. Okay, so my car broke down this week. That was stressful for me because my car is important to me, not only for the travel, but because I am a petrol head. It is for some people it's the shoes, but for me it's the cars, right? So it's about being authentic about your vulnerabilities, your strengths, everything. And the second thing that makes them go viral is that they call out and they articulate really well something that touches every single person out there really deeply and quickly, either because of its humor or because it's painful or it's something on their mind or something like that, right? And this is why and how things go viral. Of course, there's some luck or some other things, some magic dust involved as well. But these things are really, really important. When I talk about energy, let's just explain that very quickly as well. Energy, when I talk about energy, just in case you're not comfortable with that word or a little bit unclear what I mean by that when I use the word energy, because it's going to be sprinkled all over everything I say. So it's important. Energy is what's behind the obvious thing that we're talking about. So it could be referred to as the vibe or the feel or the sense. If it's people, what's going on in their subconscious. If it's in a place, it's what's not obvious. It's the atmosphere. That's what I mean by energy. It goes deep, 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 deep down underneath whatever is the surface thing that we're talking about. And then it deals with the source, if you like, and changes that essence or the foundation of the thing we're talking about. And therefore it has the power to change the thing itself very powerfully. Can I just say to all of you listening to this, the best conversations and information come out from actual real questions from people. When I've been speaking at an event or done a Facebook Live Q&A or something, oh my God, it's when you think you have the silly question that boom, something powerful happens, because guess what? Everybody else, or at least 50% of the room, were thinking it. They just didn't put their hand up and say it, right? So please don't feel like there's any silly questions. I'll be happy to do that, Inga. Okay, I thought we'd do a month by month, because then I can capture the energy of that month. And the reason why it's really valuable, so listen very carefully, please, is not only can you receive the advice from me, but you can take the information I explained to you about what energy is out there for everybody, and you can do your own blogs for your own services or products based on how people are feeling. So very quickly, for example, if I say this is X month is a month where people are feeling a little bit flat. I haven't said that actually, so that's why I'm using that example. Okay, then you might want to write a blog about your service or product and say to people, listen, if you're feeling a bit flat, remember that this product or this service, you can tap into this part of it, or we can do a webinar this month if this many people like this post or something. So really, really pay attention, and remember, it's great to listen to information. It's very, very interesting, right? Who doesn't like to listen to interesting information, especially about what's coming in front of you? But why not turn it into gold dust by actually using it, right? You've got nothing to lose, let's face it. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I am going to be using Feng Shui recommendations in this piece, okay? It's really important that you understand how to work with those recommendations, because if you don't, let's face it, you're going to be lost. And it would be such a shame, because at the end of the day, these things really do work. I have using them with clients for over 25 years, nearly 30, and they get result after result after result. So don't worry if you don't believe it. I'm not attached to you believing it. Remember, belief is built up through experience of something, positive experience. So take a chance, try it out, 1 or 2 or 3 months, give it a proper chance and see what happens. And then let Inga and myself know, because we also want your feedback. Would really love to hear what's working, what's not working. Don't be afraid to say if something isn't working, okay? That's fine, but your feedback is really welcome and it's vital, because how else is Inga going to bring something even more relevant to you, right? Unless you tell us.
So for me, this is unexpected bonus, right? Your suggestion, listen to information, and then apply it even more practically by creating either a product or a blog post or any type of content. I think it's so amazing, and I just can't wait to hear all this information. And I've already decided that this is what we are going to use this recording in Magical Creators membership, where we do all the practical things to grow business. And also the questions that you're going to cover are based on what I've observed in terms of what will be the most beneficial for intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs. And one more thing that I have read myself about Feng Shui, whether you believe it or not, it's irrelevant, because it works. So it's not based on you believing. It's like gravity, like electricity.
Absolutely. Very, very eloquently said. So thank you very much, Inga. I'm delighted to hear that. I'm going to start off by showing you how to use a compass. This is what a very mini Feng Shui compass looks like. So you see it's got a level and it's got various Chinese symbols, etc. But essentially it marks different directions. It's a magnetic compass. Now, none of you are going to have this, I'd imagine, but what you will have access to, and is widely available, is free as a resource, is on your mobile phone. If you have an Android device, you literally just go to Play Store and you download a free compass, okay? And if you have an iPhone, iPhone has an iPhone compass as well, okay? Between these two pieces of instrument, there is some discrepancy, but for what we are doing and the information that we're working with today, your phone compass will work brilliantly and perfectly well. And isn't it great that you already have the only piece of equipment you need for free, and you carry it around all day long, every day, for God's sake, right? That's pretty darn amazing, I think. And by the way, all my clients do this. They all use this information because I teach them how to use it as opposed to parrot fashion. They will go to meetings and just outside the room, check directions and things like that. And it takes milliseconds. So this is not long or onerous, but here's what you need to be able to do. So first thing, you would download a compass onto your phone. Okay, and that's really easy. Make sure when you download the compass on the phone, it shows all 8 directions. So north, south, east, west, but also the in-between ones. So north, northeast, east, southeast, south, and so on, all the way around. There's 8 of them. As long as you can see all 8 directions, you don't need to know the numbers or any of that business, okay? Because I've super simplified this for you. Basically, there is no excuse why you couldn't use this really easy. The next thing is, so as Feng Shui consultants, we use floor plans, okay? And we go into detail, we do advanced calculations, etc. But you're not going to need to do that. You're literally going to be already in the physical space that you need to work with. And so you're literally just going to use the compass in that space. That's what you're going to do, okay? So imagine that this is the room or floor plan of the space that you are in, okay? I'm going to imagine that's a whole, very small but whole apartment, okay? So there's the way in. And then there's a door into the big room there. What you're going to need to do, just 2 things. You're going to need to know where the center is in your house or your apartment, okay? Doesn't have to be accurate. Don't worry about accuracy at all. Just roughly where the center is, okay? And then sometimes you will need to know where the center is in your office. That's all. Once you know the center, you get your compass on your phone, go to the center of that floor plan, and you literally just put your compass on, and you put that down on the floor, literally like that. Just stick it on the floor and let it show you where each area is. If you let it show you where each area is, then you know what you're working with, basically. It's as simple as that, okay? So I've just marked out some areas for you there as well. So if everybody is clear on how to find directions, okay, and remember when I talk about directions, I will say find a particular direction in your house or in your office. Either one will work for you. It doesn't matter. Don't overthink this. Don't get worried about, oh my God, the toilet is in that area that Kurly's talking about. Oh my God, right? It's, if you can't use that area in your home, then just use it in your office. If your office is a desk in the lounge, then just look at your lounge. That's absolutely fine. In Feng Shui and with energy, what I would say to you is, in fact, the first section will be about this. Energy, when it is in flow, is easy. If what you're doing is not easy, it's probably not in flow. When things are in flow, there is an easy solution. Always. Okay? And what you want to do is follow the line of flow. The way to do that is, let's say you need to buy a car like I needed to, okay? And you're like a little bit overwhelmed, you've got time constraints, right? So you start looking online, ring somebody up and say, oh my God, I need to do this, what should I do? Oh, I know somebody who could help you, right? And then you're talking to somebody else randomly and they say, oh, what's going on in your life? You're a bit stressed. well, oh, I know somebody who's an expert. Whichever of those are all good things, but whichever one seems to be happening just by itself really easily, meeting you halfway, that's where the line of flow is. Before I go into the month by month, is really just do a little short section on how to be focused and disciplined in crafting your day. And the reason why I'm going to deal with this separately, first of all, is because I'm not doing any specific feng shui on it. I'm just going to talk about the energy of it for you in the way that I look at it, using energy as a guide. So I've already said the first thing about energy is that when it's in flow, it's the easiest route, and it will present itself. You'll be able to see it. It's like water. Water, when it flows in nature, and by the way, water can be anywhere. The Grand Canyon River, which is a raging, scary, majestic thing these days and huge, started off from a small stream, and water will find a path through anything. How does it do that? Because it takes the path of least resistance. And that's what I mean by easiest route. The second point about this is it requires a huge amount of honesty with yourself. Now I'm laughing a little bit here because this is not easy, not even for me. Okay. If there's something you're good at and you enjoy it, fantastic. It's easy to put time and focus and discipline into it. But let's be really, really honest here. As entrepreneurs, there is a whole gamut of things that we don't really want to be doing, aren't really what we signed up for. They're a necessary part of getting our service or gift or skill out there. And when you're starting a business, you don't always have the resources, right, to do a lot more with it. This is where I mean you have to be really, really honest with yourself. Make a list. Now, I'm a lists person, so that's why I'm saying make a list, but you can do it differently. Make a list of every area that you need to work on, and then be really so honest, more honest than you've ever been. Nobody else needs to see this, as to what you really enjoy, what floats your boat, what puts a buzz in you, etc. Tick those off. Absolutely fine. Those will be easy route energy line. Well, that's why I say tick off the things that raise your energy, that you enjoy the most, because when you're doing something that you really, really enjoy, right? Guess what? You send out an infectious vibration. People and things are attracted to you because of the state that you are in. And that you will all have heard of, yes, spend more time on the things that you enjoy, but this is why.
Hold on, you just created something opposite of a very famous concept, which is called Eat That Frog. Because it claims when you start your day with the most horrendous activity, just to get it out of the way, you're free for the day. What you are saying, it's completely opposite. Start with the easy, most enjoyable task, and it will overflow you with the energy of enjoyment.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I wasn't talking about how you start your day, but absolutely. And a really good point, Inga. So I'm not trying to put down other people's strategies, okay? But what I'm saying to you is what I totally understand is energy, and I'm good at getting people in flow. And the bottom line is, if you raise your energy first and then you have lots of energy, you can do a lot more with it, right? But there's a second part.
It's not about putting or questioning somebody. For somebody, especially who created this concept, it worked, right?
Yes.
And for a lot of people, when you get away out of the way is the most dreading task, you feel better and you are in the flow. But if this method didn't work for you in the past, I think you owe to test this theory and see how it will impact your day, because we are all different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what I would say is if your energy is low, you can absolutely force yourself to do something. And yes, you'll have a sense of achievement and it's out of the way. But that's very draining. And we as human beings, our energy, our vitality, our life force, there's nothing more important than that. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes the sole person in the business looking after your energy and keeping it high is nothing more important than that, I would say. Because let's be honest, if it drops below a certain point, really hard to pull yourself back up. And if you're the sole person in your business, then you can't afford to have those dips that pull you out of the game, right? So that's why I say, this is really, really important. The other thing that I would say is make a plan, set an intention to bring people in or systematize those things that you don't enjoy over time. Be really, really honest, because if you're honest about what you don't want to be doing, then in the long term, and you make that intention from the start, guess what? You're making this decision, you're sending the universe this clear signal. And there are scientific studies, by the way, that show that experiments that are done involving human beings, when they employ a clear and powerful intention, it actually affects what happens in reality to the matter. Okay, so make that intention, make that list, decide what's going to get outsourced, what's going to become a system, what's going to become automatic over time. And then what I would say to you is remember the compass, use the compass, whichever one you're using, the phone or the professional, if you want to, and find the northwest in your home. Okay, and 10 minutes every now and then. Make it a regular thing. Just write in a journal or something like that and just spend 10 minutes. The act of writing is making the invisible into real matter, and start to write it as if, and think about how does it feel now that somebody else is doing all my accounts for me. Oh my God, I feel so light. They're really good. It means that I can carry on focusing on what I love, and I don't need to worry about once a month they send me certain figures. Oh my God, I feel free as anything. I'm flying high, right? So this is really, really important. And it sounds like a very coach kind of thing to say, but the energy behind it is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly powerful. And remember, you don't have to believe, you just have to try it and see what happens. And that's what I would like to say about this whole general topic of being focused, disciplined in crafting your day.